In today's video, you're going to learn about the Bruno Dunes State Park in southern Idaho. I'm going to share with you nighttime stargazing, learn about the dunes themselves, tallest in North America, dealing with a site like this which has water and electric service, but no dump, and then moving sites in the same state park that has no services at all. Also, I'm going to share with you my likes and dislikes of this state park, would I recommend you come here or not, and I have an RV shower tip for you at the very end. So stay tuned, let's get into it. Thanks for tuning in today, really appreciate that. My name is Scott, I am your host. Welcome to Go Small, Live Large. We are a YouTube channel dedicated to the van life, RV lifestyle. If you're into RVing, if you're into cool places, if you're into cool people, this might be the channel you want to subscribe to. About the utilities here. So when I'm in a park, whether it's an RV park or a campsite like this that provides power, I do plug in, unless I'm leaving in the morning first time. I've been here for a few days. So what I like to do is plug my power in to the side of my van and just run off shore power. Good for the Volta lithium ion system, and it just keeps things without any surprises. What I also do on the water is, while I don't connect the water to the rig itself, I do have it standing by so I don't have to connect the water and then disconnect it at the end. I don't like that look. So what I do is I just leave it like this. I'm going to fill this up because I'm leaving this particular site. And as we know on the Travato, the G floor plan anyway, top is tank fill, bottom is city fill. That, of course, is the 30 amps going in. This is the Truma furnace vent. And speaking of electric, because the temperatures here are pretty warm in the day, 80, and I'm in the sun, which I don't like typically, I have to have the AC running, the air conditioner running during the day, but at night it gets cold, so I need to have the furnace on. And what I do here is I run the Truma electric heat overnight, and I run the air conditioning from the rooftop air conditioner during the day. All of that running off shore power at this point. Could I do it with the Volta system? Yes, but this is just more efficient use of resources, which we talk about here a lot. And speaking of water, if you haven't seen my video on the Clear 2.0, you'll definitely want to upgrade your water filter from the blue filter to the green. We want to see more green. Why? Because they filter down to 1 micron versus the other guys, which is anywhere from 20 to 100 microns. Smaller is better in the world of water filtering. And I also did a video on the hose, plastic versus the flexible cloth. I recommend flexible cloth. They just roll up much more tightly in your utility closet. We'll see how long this lasts. It's pretty breezy out here. Again, the reason we do this is to keep the sun off the rig to reduce the temperature inside. What's also awesome about this vantage point is I can see off into the distance the sunrise and the moonrise. And there's just been spectacular here at this park. How'd you like that for your morning coffee view? And what's also cool is if I open up the slider door, this is my view out this way, not at RVs. So if you haven't seen my Secrets of RV Park Camping video, you'll want to see that, because sometimes I would reorient the rig so that I have a privacy view either from the cab or from the patio door. So here's the rig. It's always nice when you first get here to orient yourself to the amenities on the park. So here we've got trash. And here we've got a bathroom, but let me show you the type of bathroom this is. I've heard it typically called a vault bathroom, toilet, as it were, which means it's literally just a toilet. I'm not going to gross you out, but it's literally, whoa, a hole in the ground that the toilet waste goes into. And you find these a lot in remote spots just like this. So this is a combined facility with bathroom and shower facilities and a picnic shelter. Wait till you see this. How'd you like to host a little luncheon here? Pretty cool, right? More importantly is, I want to show you this. So we're going to step into the men's room, and I got a hot tip for you here. So fairly traditional sink, one closed for social distancing, stalls, and the showers. So the shower facilities look really great, except for they are closed, which means you're going to want to stay to the end for the hot tip. So what we're looking at here is the Idaho State Park campsite map for Bruno sand dunes. And you can see there's two campsites. There's Broken Wheel in the top right corner, Eagle Cove on the bottom left. And I stayed the first couple of nights in Eagle Cove. I stayed in site 61 there. And then the last 2 nights I stayed in the Broken Wheel, which is kind of a round configuration. And I stayed in campsite 48. What I find at most state and county campgrounds is there's a singular dump station because water and electric is really flexible to install places, right? But sewer is really hard to install into really rugged areas. So what I find at campsites, unless it's a commercial RV park, there's usually a dump station away from the RV site. So I'm going to empty my tanks. All right, with tank duty done, I'm going to point out a couple of things here. This is what I don't like to see, which is just a hanging hose. I think this is for the bigger rigs, like wash your hose out. I don't care about the washing of the hose. What I want to see is a hose fitting that I can connect my Santee flush to, which I have not done in this case because there's no hose attachment. So this rinses out the black tank, as we know. One other point to make. So looking at the tanks, what we're going to find is full on fresh, half on propane, we know. Gray waste shows empty, and black tank still says full. I've been having some issues with my black tank. If I had been able to rinse that out, that would say probably 1/3 full. So this is a great site. I chose specifically because it's the last site on the map, and it's the visualizing how that would look from the RV means I have all this open space, not looking at any RVs as I open my patio door, as you saw, and then this is my view. So my advice is, when you're looking at an RV park or a campsite map, take this into consideration. You saw the signs, no hookups, right? There was no utility pole, there's no sewer, there's no water. So I put the rig in park. I've secured the handbrake, and I'm connected. I'm done. If I want to run the inverter, I simply turn the inverter on. So it'd be Volta on, inverter on. If I need to run AC, I'm not going to do that. It's comfortable enough. I'm going to open up the back door to get some ventilation in. But that's it on setting up camp. Now this is the way to work. So the situation is I have two 110 volt outlets right here, right? 1, 2, Dos Amigos. And my iPad is getting pretty low. I'm at 21%, you see that? 21% on the battery. So how do I solve that problem? Well, pretty simple. I solve it by having an extension cord. I keep back here. It's on the lightweight variety, right? So it holds right there, which is awesome. And then I plug it into the outlet, right? Cool. And then I will get the charger from my iPad and I will put it right here. Now you might be going, that's kind of cool, but guess what? Remember, we are not plugged into any shore power, right? Gotta make sure you understand. No shore power. So how do I activate those exterior outlets? Well, that would be through the magic of Volta, yes. So how do we do that again? We wake the system. The display anyway, it's already awake. I turn it on, and now those external outlets are active. Here's my charger. And now I'm going to plug in to the extension cord. Like that. And I plug this into my iPad. like that. And now you can see that it's charging. Two more things to set up camp, if you will, and that is I'm starving. And so I'm going to heat up some lunch. So I'm going to manage the inverter. So Volta is on. Volta always on. I'm at 92% state of charge, you can see there. And what I'm going to do is just turn the inverter on. You click the button once to wake it, which is already awake, and then you hit the button again. And now we're at 30 amps of service. And you can always tell because the microwave beeps and we get the digital readout. So that's ready to warm up some food. Okay, let's warm up some lunch real fast. I'm going to warm hamburger patties that I grilled yesterday. So we grill in advance. Where's my burger patties? Right here. And we got some carrots. So I eat pretty simply on the road. I save the fancy stuff for like restaurants, things that I can't really get in the rig. So, you know, pretty basic. Hamburger patties goes in the microwave. So listen, no generator, and touch of a button, the microwave is running. A traditional generator is start the gasoline generator, which is under the chassis. It's like turning on a lawnmower, and it takes almost a minute for that thing to spin up to create enough juice that my Volta does in literally a second. And with that, we're gonna put a little cheese on top, and we're gonna put some spicy sriracha ketchup. Yum. Pretty basic lunch today. Got a lot going on. Just need to fill the tummy up a little bit. And those are probably warm enough. Just gonna put a little cheese on top. A little extra flavor. You like cheese? I love cheese. Okay, we'll pop that back in. Get that melted down a bit. Start, continue. So what questions do you have? If you have questions about any of this, please put them down below. I love to answer questions. I answer each and every one of your comments. If you don't believe me, try me out. I just love engaging with you. It's really, really important to me. Okay, with that, we're gonna call lunch served. We'll see you on the other side. Check out this spectacular sunset. Just love the crisp morning air and the quietness. And in a place like this, it reminds me of why it's so great to be close to nature. And this certainly does. Put an exclamation point on that. Look at how gorgeous that is. So what you're looking at is an app on my iPad. The app is called Coverage ? And I have to give a huge shout out to channel viewer Dr. David, who pointed out this app. So what I'm going to do, there's clearly where we are, Southern Idaho. I'm going to go over here. I'm going to hit the Verizon to show Verizon coverage. And you can see that it's pretty good, which it is. It actually functions. Now I'm going to show AT&T, and it's pretty spotty here. You guys can see that. I can tell you from the camp site that we were just in overnight, the non-hookup site, AT&T did not work at all. Verizon just barely. And the campsite that I was in earlier this week, just over that hill there, AT&T worked tad bit. Verizon was 2 bars. So this is going to be my new kind of a go-to thing, is determining where to go is by looking at these overlays and determining if that is worthy of staying or not. If you're needing awesome cellular coverage, this is not the park for you. If you can just get by with some bare necessities on cellular, this would be fine, as I did earlier in the week. But now, because of my campsite where it is, I can't get signal, so I'm actually leaving early. And the last little tidbit, again, is to manage the resources here, is we're just going to turn the inverter off. Just hit it once to wake the display, once more for disabling by LCD the system. And you can always hit the escape button here, or info button, which tells us the device is at idle, which means it's not inverting. Bruneau Sand Dunes State Park is located about an hour south of Boise, Idaho. You get to Bruneau Sand Dunes State Park by a combination of interstate, U.S., state, and county highways. I arrived from Silver City, Idaho, which is about a 2.5-hour drive, which includes an hour on punishing dirt before finally ending up on well-maintained paved road. The Bruneau Dunes State Park is a public recreation and geological preserve featuring large sand dunes, a couple of small lakes, and is located near the small town of Bruneau. The state park is the site of North America's highest single-structured sand dune, which is approximately 470 feet tall, which is 140 meters, which is about a 45-story building. The park encompasses 4,800 acres and features a Bruneau Dunes Observatory where visitors can use a telescope for stargazing. The Milky Way is the best I've ever seen, save the Kitt Observatory outside of Tucson, Arizona. The Milky Way stretched clear across the horizon, really almost horizon to horizon, and it looked like bands of clouds. That's how much of it you could see, and it was super vibrant. And to my astronomical loving eye, though untrained, it was really a spectacular sight. So if you are into checking out stars, planets, this is definitely a reason I like this park. And while a little difficult to read because it's kind of getting faded out, it talks about light pollution. So this is the United States, this is Chicago area, East Coast, this is Florida. Here we are in Bruneau. And what's amazing about this, even at 8 a.m., you can still see the moon. And it's a little too bright now, but Venus was just up over here earlier today. But the night sky is absolutely amazing. So while it's a very cool 47 degrees outside, it's a very comfortable 72 degrees inside. Thank you, Truma. Furnace running off propane, again, not plugged into anything. We're gonna break camp here in about an hour, and I'm gonna show you what the dunes are all about, and then give my recommendation on whether or not you should seek out this state park or not. So stay tuned. All right, so just empty the trash. And just want to clue you into this. I see this a lot at county, state, and national parks, and that's the camp host. So it's the person that's on site 24/7, lives on site, probably like a work camper. And they're the ones you go to buy the firewood right there. And they're here as a resource and as a safety mechanism. I'm glad that they're there. Just take care of the place and make sure everybody's being good neighbors. Here's the pricing. I am paying $25 for that standard site, which has no services. The service site is $33 a night, which actually is kind of expensive, I think, because I can get an RV park for $40, at least be able to shower. Oops, need to put my seatbelt on. Okay, we're headed down here to the observatory. And you can see the dunes here. Here's a giant one, and there's a small one. Here we are at the observatory, which is actually around the moon and stars, which I was expecting it to be an observatory about the dunes. Unfortunately, it is closed. All right, let's learn about the dunes. This is pretty cool. So the dunes, Bruneau Dunes started to form approximately 11,000 years ago after a tremendous Bonneville flood. The Bruneau Dunes is the tallest single sand dune structure in North America. And there's kind of like 4 of them. There's a giant one right here. There's an even taller one right there. And the reason this is what it is because it's in a circular basin carved out by the Snake River, which forms a natural trap to catch the wind-borne sand. The supply of sand is coming from ancient sediment laid down in the Snake River Plateau. The wind blowing at least 10 miles an hour will transport the sand. And there's this bowl, if you will, which is all the ringed mountains you see around here. And there's an opposing wind. See this, how it's like a bowl? So the wind comes in from this direction, and then the wind comes in from this direction, and it piles this sand up. And it's been doing that for a long time. So here's the hot tip I promised at the very start of the video today, and that is learn to use your RV shower. Now I know a lot of folks never plan to use their toilet for number 2 and never intend to use their shower in their rig. But in this case, since the showers are closed, if you're here for more than a night or 2, you're gonna start smelling things up a little bit, and you're probably gonna want a shower anyway. And this is why it's important to manage your resources and know how to use your RV shower and toilet. I just came out of Washington State, where I typically would shower in Planet Fitnesses, and Planet Fitnesses mid-October 2020 cannot shower in a Planet Fitness for the same reason: disease prevention. So my advice, again, is to learn how to use your RV shower, even if you never plan to use it. Same goes for going number. You got it. That's my hot tip, so you're not stranded, high, dry, and stinky. We had a special surprise when audience member Dr. Dave pulled up next to me the first night by complete coincidence. He recognized me and I recognized him from our channel meetup we had in Seattle in the summer, July of 2019. We had dinner together. He actually cooked. We shared a bottle of wine that I purchased at Harvest Host, and we just had a really great evening of talking travel, Travato, and RV experiences. In the morning, Dr. Dave brought me fresh baked blueberry muffins that he made on his stovetop oven in his Travato. Cool.